Alright, so first thing up on the studio update today is I got a bunch of gaming stuff on a trip today to Provo. So first thing I got was Horde's Primal Mark II, and I also got a Khador Army book. I'm going to be doing Commandant Irusk. I've been running Tier 4 Thargosh for Hordes. I had a pretty good match tonight. And then I also got this from the guys over at Blue Table today, Eclipsos Infiltrator for Infinity. It's the new Toha release. It's basically like an infiltration sniper, so that's going to be pretty fun. And then because, you know, it's my birthday this week, I gave myself a little treat. I remember I won the Settlers of Catan Championship at the Forge Convention in Lexington, Kentucky a few years back, and I thought it was a little bit of a crime that I didn't actually have a copy of Settlers of Catan. So for those of you who haven't really been following the Facebook or the updates lately, I got the lighting situation fixed. This was really simple. These are shop lights that you can get at Walmart. I got 3 of them. Two of them for in the studio, and one of them's going to go out in the main room for battle reports. A friend of mine also gave me a desktop, so I have this for doing live streaming like I did on Sunday night. So I'll start doing those live stream shows. So let's take a look at this. This is all of the Infinity buildings for the Plastcraft set, completely built. I've kind of just stacked them on each other for sake of storage at the moment. I still have 2 left to build. It's these supplemental these 3 platform curved buildings, not supplemental balconies. I've got to put those 2 together tonight, and then I will start the modifications to them, which will go pretty quickly. Then over here we have the finished shake table. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of show you how I hooked this up. Move all this. As you can see, I did a nice a black coat on it. Now the black coat isn't just because it looks nice. The black coat is because the Merlin's Magic that I've got comes in a gray color. So this is also for ease of cleanup. So when I go to do plaster casting on it, I'll be able to see where all the plaster is at and clean it up really easily. So let's kind of just tilt this up to give you all a visual of under here. What I've done is taken like some nylon strapping that was part of the back massager, and I strapped and screwed these in place. These are the 3 motors. I also cut the heating element off because it just there was no point having it. So this is strapped in 3 places, and then I put a coat of polyurethane on top. There's these little indents is where the screws, I actually got screws that were too long. They actually poked through the top, so I had to bevel them down, and then I put some caulking down on top of it as well. I also put more caulking along the edges before I did the spray and the seal. So this polyurethane is nice because it will make it very slick, so you can tell the difference, and so you can slide stuff off real easily. So this is the controls. This is pretty simple. It just plugs right into the wall, and the best thing about this Conair one, which there's the model number right there if you want to get that for your shake table, has multiple settings. So you can hear that right there pretty easily. So let's take this eraser for instance, and this is powerful already. Let's put it on low. So it's barely perceptible, but you can tell that it's moving slightly. This is on low. That's when you click just the upper back single motor to medium. So that's all the motors on medium. It's kind of bouncing around a little bit. And it starts moving on high. I don't think I will be using it on high for any of the casting, because high tends to, like, I put these on there earlier, and I think that high will actually cause it to shake too much. But I think with the low and the medium settings, I'll be able to eventually get it to where I've got tons of molds in this little area, and I'll be able to just go crazy on mold casting runs and doing all that stuff. I'm going to be doing my casting run for this Space Hulk set that I'm building for my friend this weekend, I believe. Also, I was going through some of my video files the other day, and a while back I had done a display board for a client for a Lizardmen display, and I thought I had lost the video files for them and thought they had become corrupted, which I was really disappointed about. But I actually found the original footage on one of my SD cards, and I'm going to go ahead and upload that in this update. This was from back in the winter. It was like 6 months ago. So take a look at this, and this is a really, really interesting little display board. We can do ones like this in the future. Okay, so this is the completed display board that I just pretty much cranked out in a day. What you have here is it's roughly 2 feet 4 inches long by about 1 foot 4 inches long. So it's a pretty hefty little size on it. But the theme is that the client plays Lizardmen. This is actually for a tournament, and the reason I cranked it out as fast as I did is because he needs it actually for a tournament that's going to be later on this month, just here in about 2 weeks. So let's get a little bit of a look at all the details. You can see all the lava effects that I did here. This was an interesting experiment I did. I did this with some caulking material that you can just get at a hardware store. And all I did is I took a 2-inch foam piece, cut it to size, then I added 1-inch foam pieces to build up the hills and everything. I put the islands in, and then I put the caulking down along the interior where the lava was going to be. You've also got this this temple dais, which is really cool. And I'm going to go into what all is in the list here in a moment. But you've got like Lizardmen symbols and some random bits strewn everywhere. So now let's go over the list of what is actually going to be on this display board. Unfortunately, I do not actually have the army that he's going to be using, but I did do this thing that we do with display boards to make sure it was the right size. Okay, so what I did with the list that the client gave me is he just wanted the display board to fit a certain theme, and we came up with a couple ideas, especially with the river. Then what I did is I looked through the entire list, I grabbed the Lizardmen army book, and then I found out the base sizings for everything in his list. Then I actually measured out the base sizings. Like for this one, you have the Carnosaur Lord is on a chariot base, and I just cut them out of some card stock, so I just have some of these laying around. So let's go into the list of what will actually be on this. Hopefully I can actually get a picture from the client as well when he goes to put his army on this, because I just want to see how it's going to look on this board at this point. So obviously on the big dais in the middle you have the Carnosaur Lord. To either side you have Bastillodons. You have 2 units of 10 skinks, which are based in here. You have 3 Ripperdactyls. Those little bases represent 7 chameleons. Then you have a block of Saurus warriors led by a Scarvet on Cold One. Then you have another unit of skinks with 2 Coxigars, 2 salamanders, and a Stegodon. Now obviously I did leave a little extra space on here so that you could rearrange it if you wanted to. So you could easily fit some of the like the salamanders or the Ripperdactyls on these. This is also relatively flat too, so it wouldn't really be hard for you to just stick like individual dudes in there, which is really cool. I try to keep everything to where you can just move it around a lot. So if I know for a fact that he also has some guys that have lava basing, so he could probably even put little dudes in here, like, you know, the chameleons could be hanging out in the lava. So that is our Lizardmen display board that we just completed. If you were interested in something like it, just hit us up at projects@titanterrainstudio.com, and we can definitely work out something similar for you. Display boards are really, really cool for us to do because they're kind of like little miniature terrain projects, but they're really fun and evocative because it has to tell a really cool story about the army. So anyway, stay tuned for more content, and thanks for watching.